It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're listening or watching. We hope you're doing okay today. I'll give a special shout out to all of our Holyfield television viewers. We're glad to be part of your day or night or afternoon. We'd like to hear from you. Drop us an email. Let us know how we're doing. Billy at Talkin' Boxing, TalkinBoxing.com. Also, don't forget about downloading our app. It's for free, and you can watch and listen to our show on your phone or any other handheld device. Just go to Fight, that's F-I-T-E, fight.tv/Billy C, and download our app, fight.tv/Billy C. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located on beautiful St. Simons Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2338. 912-268-2328. 912-268-2328. Give my man a call today. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simons to get a decent Italian meal. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll be going down there in a couple of weeks. Can't wait. I'm going to start fasting now. Just give my man a call. 912-238. I'm messing it up. 912-268-2328. SalsNeighborhoodPizzeria.com. Just go there. It's got the number printed. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by Gawk Box. What is it? Check it out. You can save money plus get some free stuff, and at the same time, help us out. What's better than a two-way street? Visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the Gawk Box banner, which is on the right-hand side. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the Turning Stone Resort and Casino and their next boxing event, which is taking place Friday, June 9th. It's the Friday during the International Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. I'm going to be there, and I want you to be there too. Get some tickets by visiting our website, BillyCBoxing.com. and click on the Turning Stone banner, or just go to the Turning Stone website and get some tickets. Just make sure you tell them Billy C sent you and demand the Billy C discount. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. You can get a copy right now where you're watching or listening to the show. Just go to BarnesandNoble.com or Amazon.com. If you like a signed copy, just visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com. and click on the book. You can't miss it. It's a quick read, man. It's 150 pages, and trust me when I tell you, you start reading it, you can't put it down. Find out why we got a 5-star rating, man. It's a great story, and I hope someday we can put it on the big screen. Anyway, coming up, we want to talk about today's main topic is the return of Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Looks like he's going to be coming back in September. And also, the return of Miguel Cotto. We talked a little about this yesterday. I can't wait for Chocolatito to return. I mean, I love this guy. I feel he kind of got robbed of a piece of history in his last fight, a great, exciting fight back in March. But I totally understand why he's coming back, and I can't wait for him to come back. I've always been a big fan of Miguel Cotto. But quite honestly, I don't understand why he's continuing fighting. I mean, okay, stop writing the email now if you're going to tell me it's for the money, Billy C. Yeah. I know it's for the money, but he's got nothing else left to prove. He just split with his promoter, Rock Nation, and now he's fighting the same guy that Rock Nation wanted him to fight. And the bottom line is that was a part of a 3-fight deal for $50 million, and it's not even that big of a fight. I mean, no disrespect to his opponent, Yoshiro Kamagagi, but man, August. It's taking place in August. Not too excited about seeing the return of Miguel Cotto, but I am excited to have this guy join us, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome a man who is a part of the New Jersey Boxing Hall of Fame. He's a part of the Guinness Book of World Records. He's a pretty damn nice guy if you get to meet him. But you don't want to fight this guy. And if you mention fight, he might even want to make another comeback, which we're not letting him. We're not letting him do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, childrens of all ages, please welcome the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend himself, in his own mind, Sal Rocky Sanicola. What's up, Sal? You didn't like that, huh?
Good morning,
you didn't
man.
like it. We were watching you. We had the camera on.
I didn't know that.
I mean, come on, man. Come on.
You really? I was just goofing behind the camera. I didn't know you had it on.
Of course. We want to catch you at when at the surprising moments. Like when you're picking your nose or something like that. We want it all caught on camera, man. I mean, you never know.
That's wrong.
Just watch. Just remember that thing that you're looking at is always watching you, Sal. It's watching you. But
that thing right there.
Yeah. That's the one. Chocolatito returning. Looks like September. They're trying to plan it for either the week before or the week after Triple G and Canelo Alvarez fight. I can't wait for this guy to return. What's your quick thoughts on it? No opponent's been named yet. Oh, actually, there is an opponent. They're going to have a rematch, but a lot of the talk with Sir Scott Rungzavayo, or however you pronounce his name. I'm terrible with that. But they're looking to have Japan's Naoya Inoue on the undercard. So if Chocolatito wins that fight, they're trying to plan for a showdown between Chocolatito and the monster Inoue. What's your thoughts on the comeback? Or at least it would have been 6 months after his previous fight, but Roman Gonzalez coming back.
Oh, gosh. I want to see him come back, and I want to see him come back strong. I mean, I thought he got robbed that last fight. I thought that he did what he had to do to get by and win, but I definitely thought that was an unjust move with him, and I thought it robbed him of history. And so let's see him come back and rise to the occasion one more time and do what he has to do to win in a convincing manner. Is he going to fight the same guy, right?
Yeah, he's getting a rematch.
That's good. Rematch.
Rematch.
No rematch.
Yeah, he's getting a rematch with the guy that he fought last time, and I feel terrible because I'm going to murder his name, but
I know you
that's
why I'm letting you say it.
Sir Scott Rungzaval or Rungzavai Sai. We all know the guy, but tough guy. In case you forgot, Gonzalez suffered his first defeat, and it was a majority decision. Two of the judges had it 114-112 in favor of Rungzaval, and the third had it at even 113-113. When I first watched this fight, Sal, if you recall, I thought that the fight was justified. I thought the scores were justified. I thought that Chocolatito got battered from ring post to ring post. But then after I had the luxury of watching it again, I felt that he actually inflicted the more powerful and meaningful punches, even though he definitely took some shots. And my opinion changed. I still think it was a tough fight, but I thought Gonzalez got the better of it when I had the luxury of rewatching the fight. What was your thoughts? I forget what you had.
My initial, I'll tell you what, I was watching the fight, and there was maybe one round I missed. I had to address something at the restaurant, but I thought that Gonzalez squeaked it out. I didn't think he won big by any big margin at all, but I thought he was able to squeak it out. And then when I did watch the rematch, I was trying to be unbiased in every way, shape, or form, but I did pull for him. I thought he landed, as you said, the cleaner, sharper, heavier blows. And although he was beaten, but he got hit. He definitely got hit. But I thought he did land more of the effective blows.
Yeah, well, we had the luxury of watching the replay, and also slated to return is Miguel Cotto. Now, we talked a little about this the other day. Miguel Cotto was he was in camp actually with Freddie Roach, and he was scheduled to fight Yurishiro Kamagagi, and then he left camp, and reports surfaced that he split with Rock Nation Sports, who was his promoter, who he had signed a 3-fight deal for $50 million, and also they threw in a record contract, which I don't know. He got one easy fight. He had the other fight with Canelo, and then he hasn't fought since. And I'm not suggesting that the Kamagagi fight is going to be easy, especially at Miguel Cotto with the age he's at now and the long layoff, but it's the same fight. I mean, we talk about divas of boxing, and Miguel Cotto's got to be up there, right? If not equal to Andre Ward, very close behind. What's your thoughts on him coming back, kicking Rock Nation to the curb, and then fighting the same guy?
Well, that's a little finagling of the deal there. You have the art of the deal, and you have the finagling of the deal, and it's a little bit suspect and fishy, and it's not doing what you're supposed to do on that level. Shows a little bit of the greed and need there for him, and Miguel Cotto's a great fighter, and he's been around for a long time. And, he's got to really assess at this point, how much longer does he want to stick around the game of boxing? I mean, it's addictive. I'm telling you, Bill, it's hard to walk away. You're doing this your whole life, and boom, all of a sudden it's over. It's a hard habit to break. It's always one more fight. You always got that one more fight in you.
Well, when we take a look at both these fights that were announced, and then I got a third one, too, that is really... I don't know what to think, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But Roman Gonzalez, this is a guy that many people had him number one pound for pound. Most people dropped him off that because of the loss, which I disagree with.
Yes.
I still think he's pound for pound number one. I honestly think the top three has to be Gonzalez. You got to put Terrence Crawford in the mix now, like Larry Hazard was suggesting yesterday. And despite his last two performances, I still think Triple G has to be up there. And with all due respect to Canelo Alvarez, he's got to be up there.
He's got to be up there. Lomachenko I have up there.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's a guy we got some good fighters, but Gonzalez still has to be near the top, don't you think, or no?
Yes, I think he can get up there, and I'll tell you, it's Roman Gonzalez definitely belongs in that top five. Let's call it the top five of the current contemporary fighters. That's redundant, current and contemporary, but I think the top five fighters today, definitely you can put Roman Gonzalez in the top five of pound for pound, along with Lomachenko, Triple G, Cotto. I mean not Cotto, and Alvarez. And I think you had a good few top five fighters out there that can earn that and deserve to be called that right now, top five.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. A mental lapse had me forgetting about Lomachenko. But anyway, hey Sal, it's that time again. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back. We'll finish talking about these two returns plus another one. It's perplexing, Sal. So
I hear it. I hear it in your voice.
Hang tight, and we'll be back in probably 2 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Sal and I will be right back.
Billy C will be right back.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C Show. Glad we're with you today, man. Yeah, and we're glad you're with us. Yeah. Don't forget about getting a copy of my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now. Check it out, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. I'm here with my man, Sal Rocky Senecola. And, Sal, you know, the fight that the WBC had ordered the fight, the rematch with Gonzalez and Rungzavai. And apparently they don't have a deal in place yet. Chocolatito's team wants the rematch, but I guess, Rungzavai has not signed yet, trying to get as much money. So either way, HBO is saying that they want the rematch. WBC has ordered the rematch, but HBO has already given the green light to feature Gonzalez, even if they have to come up with another opponent. And they, like I mentioned earlier, they want to put Inoue on that card with the hopes that both fighters win, and then they have an eventual showdown, most likely in Japan sometime next year. What's your thoughts? Do you think that Gonzalez will get the rematch that everyone wants to see, specifically not only the fans but the WBC and HBO, or do you think we're going to see Gonzalez in with someone else?
No, I think we'll get the rematch. I think we'll get it because I think it's going to draw a lot of money for both fighters, and it's what the public wants to see. It's what the commissioners want to see. It's what the boxing bodies want to see. So I think it could happen. And hopefully it'll happen in September. We'll see.
Now, as far as the other fight, we were just talking about Miguel Cotto returning to the ring against Yoshiro Kamagagi. I'm making him sound like he's Italian, but obviously he's not. Miguel Cotto doesn't have anything left to prove, Sal. I mean, he's 40 wins, 5 losses with 33 knockouts. He's, as far as Puerto Rican fighters, he's the only 4 divisional world champion. He is moving back down in weight, if everyone remembers, because it seems like he's been out of the ring so long. His last title belt that he held was actually 160 pounds, was the middleweight title, so he's going to be going back down in weight. And, of course, they'll have a title on the line. It's a vacant title. Again, you wonder how the WBO, and I'm just mentioning them because it's their belt that's on the line, but how do they justify a fight with a fighter who's been out as long as Cotto has, number one, and number two, he's coming off a loss. I mean, when I was involved with the sanctioning body, I won't mention who, but when I was involved with them, one of the biggest criterias we had, especially for a world title, was that both combatants were not coming off a loss, that they had to even if the win was over, some taxi cab driver in Tijuana, they had to come off of a win. How does the WBO justify giving Cotto a shot, aside from the money factor, Sal? I mean, this is one of my pet peeves. You got these young fighters, or it doesn't matter how old they are, fighters that are working hard in the gym, working their way up the ladder, and they're being kicked to the curb because a guy like Miguel Cotto, who's obviously a bigger name and a bigger draw, it's just not fair. And at some point, these fighters that are working for, up the ranks, why, they might wake up one morning and say, why bother? Why bother? I'm not getting my opportunities. I mean, what's going through their minds?
Well, what you're saying right there is definitely an issue. They're not going to say why bother. Fighters are to an extent, I hate to say it, like trained in the sense to believe that next ticket's going to be their breakthrough, their opportunity. So they have the carrot ahead of them that they're chomping at that bit, and they're looking for that carrot, and it's luring, and it's a tease, and it will happen. And they know it will happen. It's just when, and they keep for that fire in the belly and a dream to make it happen. So they do their best to win, and they'll get discouraged along the way. But they when they see this opportunity coming up, they just get a little more, I guess, angry at the issue and the way the politics work, and they're gonna want to fight it harder and more. And they might become more vocal. They might have more people behind them to call for their opportunity. But they're going to be ready. They're going to try and prove it to everybody that they've been waiting and patient. And maybe there was a opportunity that was it's frustrating, very frustrating. And I could tell you off air a little bit of one of my own experiences with that whole scenario. And but I did what I had to do, and I'll share that with you. And it was very frustrating, but you don't give up. You keep believing you're gonna get that opportunity until you either do or you don't.
The way the business is today, and it just it sucks. But anyway, after the official announcement yesterday, both fighters had a couple of quick quotes. Kamagagi, whose record is 27 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws, who's getting this opportunity, said, "I fully understand who I'm going into the ring, who I'm going to be into the ring against, but Cotto's record and history won't matter once we go toe to toe. I'm looking forward to giving the fans the kind of aggressive fight that they've seen from me before, and having my arm raised in victory." Now, if you've never seen Yoshiro Kamagagi, this is a fighter that is a pressure fighter. I mean, that's an understatement for him. He comes at you, and he is a tough out. And I tell you, Miguel Cotto with the long layoff, and the fact that he's working with Freddie Roach again gives me the reason to believe that he's going to try to be aggressive and maybe going toe-to-toe with this guy at Miguel Cotto's current age. No disrespect to Miguel, but the truth of the matter is he said he was going to retire a couple of years ago, and he's been hanging on. Clearly, this is a cash-out fight for him, or at least make some more cash fight for him. Cotto said, I'm excited to be back and showcase a high-level fight for the fans. Kamagagi is a great, tough fighter, but I will be ready for him and ready to capture the world title. I can't wait to start training for this fight and get back in the ring on August 26th. You think it's going to be a big draw? I mean, it is going to be on HBO, just regular old HBO, Sal. But do you think there is going to be a big interest in this fight? I mean, it's not taking place in New York, where Cotto usually draws a lot of Puerto Rican fans. This particular fight will be taking place at the StubHub Center in California. How do you see it in terms of interest level? I
will have to say I think it's going to be on a medium or moderate interest level. I don't think it's going to be, people go running out and, wow, I got to see this. I really don't think it's going to be that kind of fight. I don't think it's going to be that kind of draw. I think it's going to be like, hey, you know what, I want to see this, but how much the path of least resistance do I have to go through to actually see this fight? Or how much they're going to charge, or whatever it's going to be. But it's HBO, so it's okay. But I don't think it's going to be a burning issue to really see this fight by a lot of people. But you'll look at some support. Look at some good support.
I just, these fighters that I just can't help but just look at it like they're taking advantage of the fans, because
well, they are.
The truth of the matter is if Miguel Cotto, and we're talking about Miguel Cotto specifically, if Miguel Cotto needs money at this point in his life, there's a problem. I mean, this man has made a ton of money in some big fights. So I would have to rule out the fact that he's doing it for the money. Is he doing it for the glory to get, another title, added to his resume? He's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't have anything left to prove, unless he's got something inside that he needs to prove. If that was the case, if fighters that want to prove something to themselves and to other people, they go out and do something like Sugar Ray Leonard did. And listen, I keep comparing Sugar Ray Leonard, and it wasn't even that I was a huge fan of his, but I it's so obvious that he did this. He went after the biggest, toughest challenge that he could find. And, when he came out of retirement and fought Marvin Hagler, he went and seeked out the toughest. This is nothing like that. And to suggest that, fans of Cotto are going to look at it as such, listen, they can't look at it any more than what it is, Sal. It's a cash-out fight, and it's no disrespect to Kamagagi, because I think he might surprise Cotto. But even if Cotto loses, it doesn't do anything to his resume. It doesn't. Well, he puts a loss on his resume, but it doesn't do anything to his legacy. I just don't see the need for the fight at all.
Well, and that's why I said it's not going to be, on a top burner to have to run to the nearest place to go watch it. It's it is what it is. I can't deny what's in a person's heart or mind to make that comeback, to go ahead in it. There are things in a career that you wish you could replay, that you wish you could do, and you want to go out in a way that you want to try to formulate. And some fighters get to do that, some fighters don't. And you carry a lot of demons in your back, and like you said, for whether it was for something obvious or something on his in his inner spirit or mind, his heart. This is what he's got to do for him, and I guess that I got to respect that, because it's the same thing with me. I mean, there were a lot of things that when I still have regrets about, whatever. When I left Richie Giacchetti and had our fallout there, and I was supposed to go with Al Certo, and I loved Al Certo, and I didn't. And Lenny Shaw, who had Charlie White Lightning Brown and got him a title fight and all this, and we talked about getting together. He would get me positioned for a title fight right away, and so I really should have gone with Al Certo. And Buddy McGirt was there, and but I loved Al Certo, a great guy. but Lenny Shaw waved some money too. I signed with him, and had a couple big fights. Don Turner was training me, and I leveraged myself in the USBA or NEBF in the top 3, top 4, and I was going to get a title shot, a 12-round title shot. I think it was going to be in the Garden against the NABF or the USBA, Kenny Bazemore, who was one of the Sugar Ray Leonard Bethesda Maryland proteges, and we were going to fight a 12-round fight for the title, and everything was. I was in camp. We're training, and all of a sudden, who sneaks ahead of me for that same opportunity was one of Lenny Shaw's other fighters by the name of Harold Knight. Harold Knight got that fight, and Harold Knight beat Kenny Bazemore. Same fashion I thought I was going to beat Kenny Bazemore. He was tall, he was thin, and I love those tall, thin fighters. So Harold Knight gets to the shot. He wins the USBA title or NEBF, whatever it was. I think it was the USBA. And then I remember seeing Bob Lee, and who was ahead of that whole thing. He said, "Sal, we're going to owe you one. And I was hurt by that whole thing, and I knew I lost a big opportunity there, and I still to this day didn't know why. It just, you are sometimes subject to things and decisions and moves outside of your control when you aren't handled properly."
Well, the bottom line is, Cotto has nothing left to prove, and right. Just to have this fight, and I'm surprised HBO even wanted it. I guess the deterioration of his skill set, which maybe I'm prematurely stating, will make it an interesting fight. I mean, Kamagagi comes at you, Cotto's a warrior.
He's a warrior.
We could guarantee one thing, that it'll be action packed. Hey, listen, let's take a short break. When we come back, I got some quick news. I got another guy who's slated for a comeback. And like I keep telling you, I'm a little surprised about this one. He's in the heavyweight. Not that I'm surprised he's fighting, but I just don't know where he sits. And we'll talk about that in about 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
This message is for all Americans that owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS. Look, I know you want to keep ignoring those letters, but the problem isn't going away. It's really stressful, and you don't know where to turn.
The good news is you have rights, and we can help resolve your IRS problems.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, our qualified CPAs, tax negotiators, and support staff know the law and know how to get your situation under control legally and permanently.
Call the number on your screen now and we will contact the IRS on your behalf, help you end wage garnishments, stop collection calls, remove tax liens, get rid of IRS and state tax penalties, and reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. You wouldn't go to fix your car without going to a mechanic, so why face the IRS without an experienced company that can help you?
Let us take the stress of back taxes and the IRS off your shoulders so you can spend time on the important things in your life, like your family or your business. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, call now and find out how we can help you.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to The Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. Whenever you're watching or listening, we love having you join us. And Sal Rocky Seneca is with me. And Sal, one other thing I wanted to mention real quick was, the Andre Ward Sergey Kovalev rematch. Which is taking place June 17th, which is coming up pretty quick, man.
I want to see that.
I mean, June 1st is here next week. I mean, man, is this year flying by? We're halfway through the year almost. But anyway, they announced yesterday about another fight that was added to this card. And it's kind of, I like the matchup, but the parameters surrounding it are kind of funny. Dmitry Bivol happens to be the current WBA interim light heavyweight champion. Now, I don't know if you can keep up with it all, Sal, but the fight between Kovalev and Ward is for the WBA and IBF and regular WBA light heavyweight title. So Dmitry Bivol happens to have the interim WBA title. So he's going to be fighting, and he's only 10-0 with 8 knockouts. He's going to be fighting Cedric Agnew, who is a pretty good fighter. I like Cedric Agnew. He lost to, I believe, Kovalev and Fonfara. I believe those are his 2 losses at the top of my head. But here's the funny part. It's a non-title fight. I mean, first of all, the guy's got an interim belt, and they don't even want to put that on the line. So therefore, even if Agnew wins this fight, Dmitry Bivol is still the guy in line to face, as far as the WBA is concerned, to face the winner of Kovalev Ward 2. What a joke that is, to be fighting a guy and not even put an interim belt, which in my opinion isn't even really a title belt, on the line. What do you think?
I think it's don't even get me started. Well, you got me started. These interim belts and all this other, like I said, it's the fluff without the stuff. Get it real, make it real, and make it happen. I don't know. I'm not too big on it. You know that.
All right, so here we go. In the heavyweight division, there's a handful of fighters that, we keep our eye on, right?
Yes.
I mean, of course, the top 2 guys, whether you want to admit it or not, is Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. And,
agreed.
I personally think Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight in the world today. I don't think Wilder has faced anyone to justify his pounding of the chest. Klitschko is still up there. As far as Joseph Parker, the other champion for the WBO, he's a champion, but the value of the champions go down the turlet, so to speak, as Archie Bunker would say. But the other name that is in the heavyweight division that had been associated with possible fights with Deontay Wilder is Alexander Povetkin. Now, Alexander Povetkin, which is a fight that I did want to see between he and Deontay Wilder, but now that he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, not once but twice, Deontay Wilder refuses to fight him, just like he refuses to fight another guy I forgot to mention, Luis Ortiz, who's another big name in the heavyweight division today. So Deontay Wilder is ducking the 2 bigger names aside from the biggest name, right? And he still looks for the low guy. But here's the thing. When you jump back to Povetkin, they just signed, sealed, and delivered a fight. He's returning in July 1st, and he's taking on a decent fighter in Andrei Rudenko, for a guy that's tested positive, a guy that's, basically tossed out of the WBC rankings, or at least the way it stands right now, who is Deontay Wilder's belt, sanctioning body, however you want to look at it. What's he doing? I mean, by this guy fighting, Rudenko is rated in the top 15 by 3 organizations. The WBO's got him at 9, the WBC's got him at 13, and the IBF also has him at 13. So he is ranked in the top 15 of 3 of the 4 major sanctioning bodies. What does this do to Povetkin? I mean, to me, as much as I wanted to see him fight Wilder to really give Wilder the test, I think it's really hard to look at Alexander Povetkin as anything more than a cheater, a performance-enhancing drug user. I mean, what's he got to do to get back in the mix? As far as I'm concerned, the WBC doesn't have him in the mix. He's not even ranked. What's your thoughts?
Well, as you just said, he's a cheater. And the bottom line is, knowing this once, you try to overcome it and make up and go out of your way to overcompensate to assure everybody that, hey, well, however it happened, but it's not me. It's not what's going to have to be looked at in the future. And you make that a point. You sing it, you talk it, you yell it, and you back it up with your tests show. But when you fail it again, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, it looks like a duck, what is it? It's a duck. So he's a cheater. You know what? He shouldn't be even ranked. And he should even now have to do what I just said earlier. He's got to prove himself beyond a shadow of a doubt, take his tests every month, whatever it is, and he's got to work his way back up to the top. That's it. You know what? If he's serious about boxing. Otherwise, he can open up a pharmacy or a...
I question where the ghost is right now. The co-main event, Marcus Brown going up against Shawnee Monahan, both undefeated fighters. Shawnee Monahan really hasn't, in my opinion, fought any top opposition yet, and neither has Marcus Brown, so that might be a really good fight. And then the return of Artur Spitska taking on Adam Kaunacki in a Polish heavyweight showdown. So we'll see what happens there. We got some emails, Sal. So before I get going with those, how about some scores in baseball? There was no NBA or NHL action. As you know, the Warriors are waiting for the winner of the Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Many people believe that it's going to be a rematch of the NBA Finals of last year when the Cavaliers beat the Warriors. Warriors are resting and waiting for the winner of this. So we'll see what happens. That game is tonight. So we'll see what happens if Cleveland can close that one out or if the Celtics hang on. Over in the NHL, the same thing is happening. The Senators are trying to close out the Penguins to advance in there for the Stanley Cup. So we'll see what happens there. But in baseball, we had some games last night. The Twins beat the Orioles 4-3. The Blue Jays over the Brewers 8-4. The A's over the Marlins 4-1. The Diamondbacks beat the White Sox 8-6. The Reds over the Indians 4-3. The Yankees keep winning, Sal. They shut out the Royals.
I love it. Do you understand? These pinstripes are coming through this year. I'm so excited. I just wish we could go to playoffs right now while they're on top.
Yeah, being a Mets fan, it makes me sick that the Yankees are doing so well. But the Nationals beat the Mariners 5-1. The Rockies beat the Phillies 7-2. The Red Sox over the Rangers 9-4. My hapless Mets, they suck. They suck. You can't say it any other way. They suck. They lost another heartbreaker.
Wait, did you say Jets or Mets?
Both.
Because they're kind of the same, right?
The Jets, they already have some of the NFL experts they ranking the teams. As they go. Right now, the teams are OTAs. They're doing the OTA practices, and the official off-season starts, I believe, in July, and the experts are already ranking the Jets as the worst team in the NFL, below Cleveland and some of the other teams, 49ers. They're ranking them as the worst team in the NFL. They're ranking the offense as the worst, the defense is the worst. Basically, the whole team is already ranked as the worst in the NFL, and they haven't even taken a snap yet. So what does that tell you? But anyway, in baseball, the Padres beat the Mets, who could arguably be the worst team in baseball, 6-5. The Rays beat the Angels 5-2. The Pirates and the Braves had a battle going on until the 10th inning when the Pirates exploded and beat the Braves 12-5, put up 6 runs in that one. The Cubbies over the Giants 5-4. The Tigers beat the Astros, who actually has got the best record in baseball, 6-3. And the Cardinals beat the Dodgers, who are looking pretty good this year. They didn't last night, but Cardinals beat the Dodgers 8-1. So that's what took place outside the boxing world, Sal. There are other sports, we do touch on them a little bit. But
but I think you've had real bad luck and a bad run with teams that end with ETS.
Well, tell me about it. I'm a Net, did I mention that I'm a Nets fan too? Nobody's worse than my teams. But me growing up, you were a loyal fan, and
yes,
it is what it is. You stay with your team, But
right.
Anyway, we got some emails. This first one's from my man Jesse. He says, "Hey Billy C and Sal." He says, "I saw that Bivol will face Agnew. This should be a good fight since Agnew's pretty durable. I see good things from Bivol." I like the fight too. I think Agnew, he had some easy fights. He is a talented fighter. I think, he lost his first fight and then got back in the ring too quick. He has been out for a little bit, and according to some reports that I've heard, he's mentally focused, which he wasn't in his last fight. So it will be an interesting fight. Bivol's a good fighter, Sal. I mean, he's got the, only got 10 fights, but he's one of those fighters that had an extensive amateur career, and he's the real deal, despite having a belt that I don't even have any value. Interim belts to me, it's just another.
I don't want to hear it. Interim belt. Oh gosh,
it's.
Okay.
Yeah, but not only is it an interim belt, I love when they go, they're defending it.
It's like an interim belt is like an apology. It's like a well, hold on, we'll get you a real one soon, or what do you, I don't understand it. Interim belt.
The joke.
It's like you're in between pant sizes.
Well, the joke of an interim belt is they defend it. I mean. He's made and in this corner, the interim champion who's made 5 successful defenses of his interim belt.
Interim belt. Oh man,
it's a joke.
Who came up with that? I want to know who came up with the interim belt.
Well, the sanctioning bodies came up with it because it's a way that they can make sanctioning fees. Listen, I've learned to really gain a lot of respect for Mauricio Suleiman. Especially since we had him on the show and everything, and I liked what I heard. But I got to give him the credit. With a straight face, even though we didn't have him on camera, with a straight face, he told us that the WBC is a non-for-profit organization, that they invest all their money back into boxing. I didn't want to say, oh well, what about the high-rise hotel casino you guys got built? I mean, how does that connect? But it's just they even get sanctioning fees for the elimination fight, Sal, which is another joke. I mean, I don't know. Once the sanctioning bodies take their claws out of the fighters, maybe things will be better. But I don't see that happening. Not at least in my lifetime, which could end today. But anyway, Jesse says, "Hey Billy C, do you see the Brandon Rios versus Herrera bout? Just being a back to the feel of boxing bout for Bam Bam, or will it be challenging? Rios has been working with Ricky Funes in the Joe Goosen gym, and he's been teaching him how to move and using better defense. He says, I might go to this fight. I don't know, and that's a really good question from Jesse, Sal, but I will say this, and I will admit that I'm biased towards Bam Bam Rios. I've always liked Bam Bam Rios, even despite some of his shortcomings and some of his stupidity that he did, and some of the way he acted, not too respectful to other fighters, etc., etc. But what I like about him, he reminds me of the way you used to fight. I mean, this is a guy that comes at you and is not afraid to take a shot and gives you as much as he can in return. He loves fighting in phone booths. He's an extremely entertaining fighter. His shortcomings were basically, discipline, and lack of discipline is really what forced him out of the limelight and then into retirement. So his comeback, I'm curious to see, and I'm rooting for the kid. We have always said that fighters with that kind of a style have a short-lived career. So I wasn't surprised when he retired. And I'm not so surprised he's making a comeback because that's also kind of the pattern with all fighters, Sal. What's your thoughts on Bam Bam Rios?
Well, I like to see him come back, and I like to see him have some success here. I like his style, and as you said, it reminds me a little bit of my own style, and I can understand the whole comeback issue. You know, like I said, you walk away, you got a couple demons on your back, you have a hard time staying away, you know, and so let's I'm going to root for him and see what he could do. I think he's got a good opportunity. He's got a good style, and I hope he does very well. I'm going to root for him.
Me too. Me batuba.
Me too.
Jesse says, finally, he says, Billy, the Cotto versus Kamagagi fight is a joke. Cotto should retire or fight Marquez. Both Cotto and Marquez don't have much left. He certainly could make a heck of a lot more money fighting Juan Manuel Marquez. But I honestly think, and I don't know this, but my opinion is that Miguel Cotto is looking for the historical factor here. He wants to get another belt. It would be the only five-time belt holder in Puerto Rican history. You know what? Wait a minute. I don't know if that'll count because he's already won the junior middleweight title. So I think they're billing it as the sixth title that he's won. Not the sixth different weight class, but a belt six times. But either way, it's a historical fight for him should he come out on top. Is he picking the best guy available? No. I do agree with Jesse, Sal, that a fight with Juan Manuel Marquez would definitely be more interesting. And, the fact that they are both in the twilights of the career even it up. And that's similar with Mayweather-Pacquiao when they fought. Everybody's always saying, oh, Mayweather. And let me just make sure everybody still understands that I'm not a fan of Mayweather, but Mayweather is older than Pacquiao, and everybody always said, oh, well, Mayweather waited, including myself, Mayweather waited for Pacquiao to diminish his skill set and blah, blah, blah. But like I've said, Floyd wasn't in a time machine. He aged too, so, the fight was even in that respect. They both aged, even though Floyd has less mileage on him because of the nature of how he fights. The facts are the facts. He's still older than Manny Pacquiao. The same would hold true. Juan Manuel Marquez and Miguel Cotto are both in the twilight of their career, but they're both in the twilight of their career. It's not like one guy is, past his prime and the other one is in his prime and they're fighting each other. Those are the kinds of fights I hate. But when they're evenly old or evenly in the twilight of their career, I don't have a problem. What's your thoughts?
I concur with you right there. That's you gave it, you perfectly laid it out. I'll tell you, I understand and I agree with your analogies there and everything else. And yeah, I like it. Although I like to see an older man, and sometimes they want a young buck coming up. But I think when they're on the equal basis, the playing field's pretty much even. Yeah, why not? Have bragging rights for Geritol.
So in other words, you like to see,
you
like to see an older fighter, a younger fighter fighting a journeyman.
You could call it a journeyman. Yeah, he's not just yet an opponent. Yeah, I like to see that sometimes. I do. Because I like to see the older guy still have a pop. Or still have enough to teach a younger guy a lesson.
Well, according to HBO, if you have 4 losses, you're a journeyman.
I know where you're going with that.
The HBO commentating. I still would rather sit and listen to Lampley, Max Kellerman, and Roy Jones Jr. any day of the year, week, month, whatever, over Mario Ronaldo, who, if I hear the joke, he's hitting that body like there's candy in it. The guy is a complete moron. And we talked about it the other day. I don't understand why Showtime keeps the guy. He steps all over arguably the best commentator in boxing, and Al Bernstein, and Paulie Malignaggi is doing pretty well for himself. And
yeah, he does.
I just think that it's awful. It's awful. I don't know what else to say, but
I think it's part of I don't know, maybe the shock appeal, because you don't know really. He's predictable to be unpredictable, I guess, is what they market. I don't know, in some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
Listen, I'm just talking about Ronaldo. He's the worst.
That's what I'm talking about. He's predictable to be unpredictable. You don't know what the acronym or what else.
But I don't think he's I think he's predictable. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're saying he's predictable to be unpredictable.
Well, yeah, I mean, because
hey, Slick Mahoney, come on, man. You know, I mean, what are you saying? You know, up is down, bad is good. You know, it's like you know, it's like when you say to somebody, he's bad. Oh, he's bad? No, but that's good.
No,
wait a minute. You mean bad is good? No. But he's bad. That's good. Oh. But no, he's bad. Oh, is that good? No, that's bad. You know, it's like what the F are you talking about? Is he good or bad? No, he's bad. Oh, that's good. Yeah. But he's bad. Oh, that's good? No, that's bad. Oh, okay. I don't know.
That's good. Who's on first, Bill?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Third base. But anyway. We got another email. This is from our man Joel, who just left the chat room.
All right. He says, we probably chased him out.
No, we didn't. He had something called the job he's going to, you know, anything. He says, hey, Billy C and Sal. Who's the Sal guy he speaks? Oh, Senecola. Okay. He says, there's a small boxing pay-per-view flying under the radar that's happening this weekend in Mexico. Featuring Romer Alexis Angulo fighting Rolando Mancilla for the vacant WBO Latino super middleweight title. I've never heard of these guys, and I'm surprised it's even priced on pay-per-view at $24.95. I guess if a promoter has money, they could put on any kind of a card they want on pay-per-view. The only notable fighter on this card is a kickboxer and MMA fighter named Tyrone Sprong. Open up the broadcast, looking to stay undefeated when he faces a 6-11 heavyweight. Curious on your and Sal's thoughts about these kinds of events, and don't you think it's a bad financial decision when both guys in the main event aren't even recognizable to the hardcore fan? Well, you know, that's a tough question. My opinion of pay-per-views are actually twofold, Sal. One, I believe that a pay-per-view, a major pay-per-view, a pay-per-view that's on, you know, HBO pay-per-view or Showtime pay-per-view, or even Top Rank pay-per-view, it needs to be a major fight.
Mega fight.
Mega fight. Or even a major fight, you know, between two guys. It's got to have you know, some teeth in the fight. There's something. There's got to be a main thing at stake, whether it be a collection of belts, because a belt now doesn't mean crap. You know, really, the value of a belt honestly doesn't mean much. So it has to have several belts, or it has to have some serious bragging rights, or it just has to have, you know, a 50-50 fight, a fight that you may be going one way, I go another. Those are the kinds of fights I like, because it tells me that it's going to be competitive. That's one side of a pay-per-view. The other side of a pay-per-view would be the opportunity to watch a fight that you may not have had otherwise on regular television or on the internet streaming, and your only option is to pay for it and to have it, a la Fight TV, one of the channels we're on. They offer a lot of pay-per-views that you can watch on your computer at affordable prices, you know, $9.99, $14.99, whatever. So I think it's a situation like that. Now, this particular one, it doesn't really cost the promoter money to put it on. I mean, he's got to produce it and stuff, so I guess the expense is there. But my shock on this one, Sal, is the pay-per-view company that's offering it, because they're the one that has to sell it to the distribution, and they're the one that, you know, is splitting the money and what have you. And if they don't think that it's going to cover their costs, their production costs, if they're handling the production, or I don't know what the details of this particular one, but it's one of two things. Either the promoter picks up the production cost, and then they split the distribution rights, go to the pay-per-view company, and then they split whatever after the networks get their piece, or the pay-per-view company pays for the production, and then the promoter splits a percentage of the profits after everybody gets their piece. As far as this particular fight, because it's taken place in Mexico, I'm not so sure. I mean, the biggest audience for this fight would be in Mexico. So
yes,
I don't know what the answer is to this. It does seem a little strange that there's not even, I was just saying pay-per-views need major titles on. This doesn't even have a major title. This has a Latino title. What's your quick thoughts before I got to take a break?
I don't know. Is that bad? Is it bad, or is it bad as in good?
I think it's bad. I think it's bad. Now, like, as in bad is bad. Not
bad,
it's bad. Like, bad is good. No, I think it's bad.
It's good.
I think it's bad.
No, this bad is bad. Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts that are positive on this. I know it's, like I said, we like, or we look forward to, and we will pay for something that has some significance, some teeth in the steak, if you will, or something at stake. I'm hungry.
I could go for a steak myself. What, you finally finished all that candy that you had over there, or what? Geez.
Hey, I still have this.
No. Hey, listen, you go nibble on that. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I got some more emails, and we'll start talking about Kell Brook and his big fight with Errol Spence, which is taking place this weekend. So don't go nowheres. We'll be right back.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home. Endless.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com. And we're back.
You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. And with me now is my man Sal Rocky Senecola. And Sal, we got another email. Oh, well, actually, we still got one. This is still from Joel. He says, hey, guys, I'm not sure if you heard, but it was announced that Robert Stiglitz hung up his gloves, he says in parentheses, we'll see for how long, and retired, thus making his EBU light heavyweight title vacant. Stiglitz fought to a draw against Nikolai Soljokla a few months ago in a really dull fight. Maybe all the wars he's been in finally made him come to this kind of a decision. What's your thoughts? I mean, only the fighter knows when it's time to hang him up, right, Sal? I'm asking the wrong guy.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I mean, truthfully, all kidding aside, I mean, that's really it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have, a certain skill set that a fighter will always feel that he is still capable of doing. That's why you're a fighter, Bill. I mean, you do not concede or go along with the norm or the crowd or the average. You are a fighter. You have it in your heart of hearts that you're special, you're better, you're different. Whether it's true or not is the reality of what happens in the end. But there's that fire in the belly, and some fighters they can channel it, they could work with it, they could do other things, but other fighters, that's all they have, and they rather chomp on that bit than let go for a while. And that's me too. I got other things in my life, but boy, I'll tell you, I still want that fight. I'll go back tomorrow. You know that.
Fire in the belly. Yeah.
Fire in the belly. I got to take some Pepto-Bismol.
I was just gonna say, I got a little fire in the belly. I got a little fire in the belly this morning, man. Last night I had some really hot chili, which I love. I just couldn't stop eating it. I mean, I love hot food.
Hot chili. It's contradictive. Hot chili.
Yeah,
it's like,
I know.
Hot chili. It's like almost that's bad. No,
it's
like
a
good.
hot tamale. Oh no, that's the weather tomorrow. But no, the truth of the matter is, I love chili, and the hotter, the spicier, the more I eat it. And now that I finally hit 30, it really affects me a little differently. But anyway, we got another email here. This one's from my man Mitch. He says, the only way Gervonta Davis leaves Floyd is if his, and he says Gervonta's, ego keeps getting bigger. He says, there's a lot of inside stories on this kid that you guys don't know. He says, I know him and the stories personally. Let me put it to you this way. He and Floyd are the same guy, if you follow me, with women, with money, with his circle of friends, you name it. It's the same guy. So I'm sure the ego will follow. I got a lot of flack for yesterday's show, and what bothers me the most about the people that stick up for Floyd is, they stick up for Floyd. They say that I'm, some comments I saw, Billy C., you're being disrespectful to Floyd. Floyd's the best of this era. Floyd is an all-time great. Don't disrespect Floyd. Davis would be nowhere without Floyd. No one would know his name, blah, blah, blah. And, I think that's such, first of all, it's a credit to Floyd, Sal. And the reason why I say this is because Floyd has bamboozled and been successful with his smoke and mirrors BS on all his fans that they believe that he's as good as he says he is. Was he a great fighter? Yes. He's going to go down in history as an all-time great. There's no question about it. Where he fits on that list of all-time greats is 100% subjective. On my all-time great list, which I don't even put a fighter on until they're out of the ring for 5 years, if a gun was to my head and I had to put him on there, I don't have him anywhere near the top 25. I have him probably at number 25. I could rattle off 25 fighters that were way better than Floyd when you look at all-time greatness, and when you take into account, who he fought and when he fought them. Now, in defense of Floyd, he can only be criticized for not fighting certain fighters during his era. He can't be criticized for a weak division at any given time. We can't do that. You can only criticize a fighter that didn't fight a fighter in his division during his reign. Floyd has fought a lot of big names, but the timing of those fights is what is under scrutiny. And the other thing is there's no one that can convince me that Floyd, at least for the last 10 years, has ever been in an exciting fight. Floyd's MO is cautious. Don't get hit. Run. Land one or two punches and get out of harm's way. Use his athletic ability and his speed, etc., and don't make a fight of it. That's Floyd's MO. Now, if you like that, if you think that that's boxing, well, more power to you. That's not boxing, and it's certainly not the sweet science. It worked for Floyd. There lies the issue. It worked for Floyd. Floyd was successful at it. More successful than probably anyone else financially will be for a very long time. I give him that credit. But when we're talking about Gervonta Davis displays a certain special quality. And what Mitch is talking about here outside the ring, if he's alluding to the fact that he's pompous and he treats people with no respect and he beats up women and likes to make money and all those things that he was subliminally mentioning about Floyd, because we all know that's true. The thing is that you got to look at his skill set, and I'm talking about Gervonta here. You look at his skill set, and I think that this kid has the tools to be an all-time great. I think if he keeps in the direction he's going and fighting in the style in which he is, in that aggressive style, utilizing his athletic ability and hand speed. Remember, he's only 22 years old. And, here's a kid that could conceivably fight for 5 more years, retire before he's 30, and still be considered an all-time great. He's got the dance partners in the division. Now, the influence that Floyd will have on him will determine if he takes the easy way out and tries to bamboozle opponent and bamboozle the fan base. That is what my point was yesterday. And that is why I feel that Gervonta Davis should get away from Floyd now. Be his own self. Create a name for Gervonta Davis, not Gervonta Davis under Floyd's tutelage, or Gervonta Davis, under Floyd's wing, or under Floyd's promotional company. All of that is taken away from Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is Gervonta Davis, and I think he should capitalize on that. I think he could be very successful, both historically in boxing and financially in his pocketbook. What do you think, Sal?
Well, I'll tell you, I share some of your thoughts, but I also have to look at it a little differently. And from my perspective, I think that Floyd did help him along, give him some notoriety early with his skill set being there. Still the Floyd flag, might have propelled him a little bit early on. And I think, he could be a standalone kind of guy where his fist will do the action, and he could definitely do that going forward. But I don't see really anything wrong with his current alignment with Floyd at this time. I think, if there's a mentor figure there, big brother figure there, and, Floyd is Floyd. I mean, he's got a fan base, and, it's no wonder and no matter that Floyd's fan base will also be subject to identifying Gervonta Davis as the heir to the fan base, and that's passing the torch if Floyd is finished with boxing once and for all. So I don't see it really that negative, unless Floyd is going to make him do the sidesteps, the dancing around of not fighting the best out there at the time when he could fight these guys. I think Gervonta Davis does have a big mega superstar career ahead of him. I think he's got to be careful. He's got to make the right moves, and I think he's got to fight the fights. And if he does that, yeah, you're gonna see him being a superstar of tomorrow. And whether Floyd is on board still in that stage of the game, or they have a fallout for whatever reason, I don't think Floyd's alignment right now is that detrimental to Gervonta Davis's career.
You make a great. You just made a really good point about your comment when you said "heir to the fan base." That is brilliant.
Ding,
Sal.
ding, ding, ding. It's true. I thought that.
Sal,
Yeah,
that was a bad answer, and I mean
Thank
bad
you.
means
Does that
good.
mean good?
Sal, that was a badass answer, man. I mean that was good. But I mean, but
I thought of that on my own too, Bill.
the truth is, that's a really good point. But here's the thing, and you're right. At this point, we haven't really seen. My opinion is that everybody that Floyd has touched in terms of boxers have, kind of fizzled out like a bottle rocket, and I think the main reason is, just like Larry said yesterday, when you're in that limelight and it starts to dim or the spot's taken off of you and put on somebody else, it's hard to adjust. And, Floyd definitely is an egomaniac. Now, you could look at this two ways. We could say that Floyd is going to guide Gervonta Davis down the safety first path, and the end result will be a nice looking record and a not so nice looking resume and probably a lot of money in the bank, which sounds pretty attractive to any young fighter or any young person, or anybody for that matter. And that would be my initial thought, is what he would try to do. However, because of Floyd's ego, maybe Floyd is going to be thinking the opposite. Maybe he's acting like he's helping Gervonta Davis, and deep down doesn't want this kid to be as successful as himself. So maybe he will guide him down a tougher path. Maybe he will guide Gervonta Davis through the fights that he should fight. Think about the division and the fighters that are around his weight class. Who could fight Gervonta Davis right now? Lomachenko's obviously a name. Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, to name a few. Abner Mares is a tough fighter. I mean, these are all guys that Gervonta Davis could be fighting and really show his stuff. Now, I'm not suggesting that he gets put in too tough so he can lose, but I do believe that he has the skill set, and if he fights these guys, he will get better and better. And maybe, and I don't think it's far-fetched to believe, maybe he ends up better in the all-time great category, and I'm just saying this on speculation, than Floyd is. Floyd's in the all-time great list right now. Whether he fights again or not, he's in there. Where you put him is a matter of debate. Gervonta Davis is not there yet, but I'm just saying that he has the potential of eventually being there. That's my thoughts on that. And but you make a good point. We don't know what Floyd is going to do. Time will tell, right?
That is true. And Floyd, whether he is finished or he wants one or two more fights to put a big signature and go out with a bigger bang than he did with Pacquiao, we'll see. The bottom line is, I think that Gervonta Davis does have a stellar future ahead of him. And just like I saw, and last week I predicted that this guy was going to go in there because his belief ability in himself, and is it his bragging rights? Is it being cocky? No, he does believe that he is destined for greatness. And a fighter believing that is a very, very dangerous fighter. And he's capable of getting in with people that may be even a little more experienced and a little better than him at the time. But still, the heart, the fire, the passion, the desire, the conditioning, he may come out the victor even if he's not quite ready for that opponent. So this guy right now is on all the blinders are on, all balls forward, and he's gonna. I'm telling you, he's got some good opportunities ahead of him to rise the occasion and do something very, very special in boxing and for himself.
The guys in the chat room are making some great points. My man Coach says, that Gervonta Davis has already done something that Floyd Mayweather would never do, and that's go to the UK and fight someone in someone else's backyard,
right.
which is 100% true. Floyd Mayweather, fights 100% on his terms. He only fights at home. He's got to have all the everything in his way. So coaches said that. And then Kevin says, that's correct. He goes, there's no con or Brook on Mayweather's resume. When you mention a guy like Ricky Hatton, he made Hatton rise up to 147 pounds to fight Floyd. And Ricky Hatton was nowhere. I mean, yes, he ballooned up to over 200 in between fights, but he wasn't a 147-pounder. And the thing I remember about that fight, not only that I think that might have been Floyd's last legitimate knockout win. I don't count the Victor Ortiz sucker punch, but when Ricky Hatton, he had to come to Vegas and fight Floyd, and Ricky Hatton had more fans that made the trip from England to support him than Mayweather had live. So at the end of the day, Mayweather won. But some good points that Floyd. When you listen to him talk, if you can understand what he's saying, he's not as bad as Bernard Hopkins, but at least Bernard Hopkins can read and write. Floyd Mayweather, from what I understand, can't. He's, the little train that could. He's still trying to get through that book. But the truth of the matter is that Floyd talks about himself as doing all these great things, and he wants. Fighters got to do like I got to do. They do like I did. They got to fight the best. They got to do it. And I say to myself, does Floyd, is he saying this just to reiterate the bamboozle and smokescreen that he's laid out for all of his fans, or does he really believe that he has? And I love when fans tell me, you see him when he works the mitts with his pops, oh man, he's so fast, he's so this. It's choreographed. It's memory, muscle memory. He knows where the mitts are. He doesn't have to look. Yeah, they did it blindfolded. Yeah. All of that stuff. You want to impress. Here's what you do. If Floyd Mayweather really cared about the history of boxing, he would go out. First of all, he doesn't have to come back to prove anything. The Conor McGregor talk is all, it's an easy payday for Floyd. And I do give Floyd credit for hey, if they want to throw $100 million at him for an easy night's work, more power to Floyd. But the truth of the matter is my hang-up is not that. And I've said this 100 times, Sal. My hang-up is not that Floyd will fight Conor McGregor and make that money. And yes, boys and girls, it'll be an easy fight for Floyd. My hang-up is that it's going to be for his 50th win. My hang-up would be towards any commission that approves that fight as a legitimate fight. If it was an exhibition, I have no problem. As a matter of fact, I'll not only be the first to buy it, I'll even pay for someone else's pay-per-view to watch it. That's how much I would love to watch the fight, as long as it's not a real record-counting fight, because that's not fair to all the great fighters that have made this sport so good, so great. And, like the greats before him, they did things that were great outside the box. A fighter that fights at 147, I want to prove I'm the best. So what do? You go after a 160-pounder. A heavyweight, or not even a heavyweight, even Evander Holyfield. Whether people like Evander or not, this was a light heavyweight that turned cruiser that went into the heavyweight division and became an all-time great as a heavyweight. He was never that big. He slowly built up his body. Let's hope he wasn't using performance-enhancing drugs. But the truth of the matter is he did what he had to do. And, he fought outside the box, and that's something that Floyd doesn't do. But he takes credit like he has. That's my hang-up with Floyd. Inside the ring. Outside the ring, I have a lot of hang-ups with him as a human being, but I try, like I've been criticized, and I try to follow the rule that I don't want to incorporate his outside the ring antics, beating up 18, 19-year-old security guards, smacking women around, doing all the the things that he does do, disrespecting people. Outside the ring, that's his business. He could do whatever the hell he wants. Inside the ring, he's got to perform. He performs, he wins, but let's be real, he doesn't face the best of the best. And I just think Gervonta Davis is one of these young fighters that sky's the limit. I want to see this kid continue to move upward, not backward. And if you're right, and if Larry's right, because both you guys disagree with me, that Floyd is actually a positive influence on Gervonta, then, hey, I hope I'm wrong. I hope, and I swear that I hope I'm wrong, because listen, if Floyd Mayweather could change my attitude about himself, not that he gives a rat's ass, but he could very easily. All he's got to do is focus on his promotional company and give the credit where credit's due. No one was a bigger star in boxing than Oscar De La Hoya when he was fighting. And yet he has become a very successful promoter. Yes, he says stupid things and does stupid things. Yes. But it's always about his fighters. Unless he does something stupid, then it's about him. You never see him referring to himself. Roy Jones Jr. refers to himself more than anyone else. It just, I can't stand it. When a fighter is done, they need to move on. Stop talking about yourself and your career. To me, it's a turnoff. What do you think, Sal?
Well, I like to talk about myself too, but no, I'm teasing. Hey, you know what? I'm going to say this. I couldn't help but think about it. And as you suggested, I do think that Floyd is still good for Gervonta Davis on some levels. And whether going forward he will direct him or suggest he goes vicariously through maybe fighting the tougher opposition, because he is a different fighter. He is a different style, but he does have some of the attributes and that I think Floyd admires and can direct. But I'm going to tell you this right now, Billy C. I couldn't help just let my mind wander. And I've suggested this before. With all the rhetoric with this Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather and all this other stuff, don't be too surprised, because you've heard it from me before. And you may hear from me a couple of dozen times going forward. If Floyd Mayweather is not ringside for the Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight, and once that winner at the end of the fight and the end of the night is apparent and announced, that Floyd Mayweather gets right up in that ring, says, that's my 50th win right there. I'm telling you. And I think you have a different opinion of Floyd. I think he's thinking about this. I know you're laughing. I know it's a joke of the day.
God.
But Floyd Mayweather, you want to see something very special. And Floyd, they're cheering.
They're going into battle. This is better
I like
for you.
that.
I thought Europe was a country. I don't know what they mean.
What show is this?
It's the Billy C. Blonde moment of the day.
That's come on, man. He's not doing anything along those lines. He doesn't do it. He doesn't challenge himself. I would love it if he did, but he won't. He's a fraud when it comes to that. All he does is fight the easiest fights. If he did that, Sal, I would announce the following day. I would even do on the post-fight show. I would announce that I've become the biggest Floyd Mayweather fan there is. I would. You
carry a spit bucket. You carry a spit bucket.
I would carry a spit bucket. I would shine his shoes. If he did that, I would come on and you could call me Billy C. Mayweather. All right, because I would be his biggest fan. If he did that, Sal. If he did that, my respect level for Floyd Mayweather would rise like Jesus did himself on the third day.
But listen to the logistics of this potentially happening. Floyd Mayweather has got a very, very, very big ego. And if he believes in his heart of hearts that he is special, he is the best, and he's legit on so many levels, what better way to sign off a career and a couple $100 million than to step up in the ring immediately after that fight is completed and say, I am going to fight the winner for my 50th victory and go get the middleweight championship of the world. Hey, I love it. I could write that story. let's get Floyd on page and make sure he does it.
Sal, I agree with you. I've been saying this for.
He's got that ego.
Yeah, but he also he doesn't have the balls. He doesn't. He's a wimp when it comes to that.
Well, he already beat Alvarez, and he says he could give Triple G a boxing
No,
lesson.
he said not only did he say he said he was going to school him, and he said
Right.
because he knows he can school Triple G so easily that he doesn't even have to fight him. And that's such a scam. And yes, you're right. He already beat Canelo, but he fought. See, this is where people have to give Floyd the credit. He's brilliant in that respect. Because
Yes,
he
he is.
saw that Canelo was getting better. Hey, listen, hold that thought because we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, let's finish that conversation because I can't believe we've taken a Floyd Mayweather turn. But let's take a short break, and we'll be back in a couple.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching The Billy C. Show. And we're having some fun right now. I'm joined with my man Sal Rocky Senecola. And Sal, you really got us going here with the Floyd Mayweather talk. And, the brilliance, before we went to break, the brilliance of Floyd was the fact that he saw Canelo as a rising star. And he knew that Canelo was going to get better. Now, I do think that Canelo has peaked out. But when Floyd fought Canelo, there was no doubt that Canelo had a lot of holes in his game. And Floyd took that fight at that time. Now, if you are correct, Sal Nostradamus, if you are correct, and Floyd did grow the hairs on his you-know-whats, and challenged the winner of Triple G and Saul Canelo Alvarez ringside, I think that Floyd's value would skyrocket. And I don't mean money-wise now, because he makes more money. He can't spend all the money that he's got. But I think that his value from people like myself, not that he gives a rat's ass, but all-time great status rises. Whether he wins, loses, or draws in the fight. I think the fact that he challenges himself to go after a fight, a fight like the winner of Canelo and Triple G would be amazing. And to tell you the truth, that's what I've looked for from Floyd for his entire career. To do something that is great, that is outside the box like that. Something that he has not done. Floyd has always picked the easiest path to a victory or money or whatever. But if he did what you suggest, which I've mentioned many times, to fight Triple G, similar to Ray Leonard coming out and going after Hagler, for him to fight arguably the best two, and he's got a good shot. If Triple G wins, I believe that Floyd does have the skill set to beat Triple G. I don't think he schools him like Floyd says, but I think Floyd could win that fight. We saw Triple G have trouble with movement against Daniel Jacobs and, even Kell Brook for a while. So yeah, I see Floyd being, and we all know Canelo can't hit on the move. So again, Floyd would be, I got news for you. I think Floyd could beat both of those fighters, Sal. I hate to admit it, but I think Floyd could beat both of them. But I want to see it. I don't want to, let's not just assume, and because he has the potential of winning, that the fight doesn't even have to happen. But if you were right, if he did that, God, would I would be, you could call me Billy C. Mayweather, really.
Oh, that's funny. But I will tell you this. I could actually see it happen. I'm wearing my Nostradamus hat. And this oh, by the way, this is going to be me in about 50 years right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to tell you something. I could see this happening. Yes, Floyd Mayweather did go into the ring with a very young, developing Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo is a better fighter today than he was when he fought Mayweather. But as you suggested, he may have already reached his full potential. We don't know yet. He could have leveled out, or he could still be growing. Who knows? But I could see Floyd in his heart of hearts still feeling like he could still beat Canelo Alvarez any day of the week, because he did it once, he could do it again. I could also see Floyd looking at the last two performances of Triple G saying, hey, I could outbox this guy, I could lead him down a path, and I'm going to capitalize that I could beat him. So with with that kind of ego and that kind of scenario that Floyd feels in his heart of hearts to be true, don't be surprised if he steps up in that ring after the fight. He says, I'm ready, and this is the fight I want, and this is the fight that I'm going to do. And you know what? He's got an ego, and what better way to sign off than have a stellar fight, a mega fight, and that would be a mega fight. You think this Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight is going to be big? You watch. If Floyd takes on a winner, that'll be a hell of a fight.
I would love it. Don't count on it. Floyd's ego is huge, but
I think we should promote it.
But not only is Floyd's ego huge, but he would never take a challenge. He's ducked challenges throughout his whole career. He'll duck this one. Instead he takes the listen. Look at it from Floyd's perspective.
Yeah.
Let's say he can make $100 million, or he could probably make $200 million if he fought the winner of Canelo Triple G. But let's say he can make $100 million if he fights Conor McGregor, who he should have no problem winning. No problem. For him to make $100 million in one night of easy work, sparring, if you will, versus making double that in a knockout, drag-out fight. Because even though he does have the potential of beating Triple G and Canelo, it isn't going to be easy. He will have to work for it. Yeah. But no, let's not even get jacked up for it, because
I'll get jacked up. You know why? Because there again, his ego. It'll be one of the largest purse purses in the history of boxing. And that's part of the feeding into the ego, too. He gets $200 million, one of the largest purses any fighter ever walked away with. And, that goes into the whole thing.
He already got $200 million for the boring fight that he had against Pacquiao.
Well, I meant $250 million.
Yeah, but it was only about $100 million after taxes, the poor guy.
After taxes,
how can he survive on that? How can he survive on that? He makes more money in interest than I will have made in my whole life. But
I know you and me both, Al. You and me both.
Hey, listen.
But listen, I love that as a fantasy. I love that as you want to talk about fantasy boxing. There it is, right there. Let Floyd Mayweather get up in the ring after the fight with Triple G and Canelo Alvarez and let him take on the winner of that fight. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, me too. But don't count on it.
Right. So
the big fight that we're going to talk about tomorrow on tomorrow's show. We'll start breaking down and giving you our predictions on the big fight this weekend between Kell Brook, who's the IBF World Welterweight Champion, and Errol Spence Jr., undefeated fighter coming out of the U.S., going over to England. And I love this fight, Sal, and I know you do too. The only reason why we're not doing a post-fight show on this one is because the fight is actually got a start time early, and we found in the past that a lot of people, especially on the weekends, are doing things during the day, during the early hours, and they'll watch the fight later. So we're all about getting the biggest audience we can. So that probably won't happen, even though it's a big fight. And maybe we should even consider it because we aren't doing a live show on Monday. Monday's a holiday here in the States. So we won't be back until Tuesday. But tomorrow, we will be breaking down these fights. But one thing I wanted to throw at you, the co-main event that we're going to be able to watch as well, and both of these fights will be aired on Showtime, is Georgie Groves going up against Fedor Chudinov for a WBA super middleweight title. But there's a fight that's not going to be on television, I think. Maybe it's going to be on a substation or whatever. But for the vacant Commonwealth heavyweight title, David the White Rhino Allen, who's from the UK, who sits on a record of 11 wins, 2 defeats, and 1 draw with 8 knockouts, is taking on my man. I say my man because I'm friends with this kid. And I love him. He's a nice guy. Lenroy Thomas, who's out of Florida. You guys might remember him as part of the ESPN heavyweight tournament. He did get stopped in that one. He busted onto the scene with a devastating knockout win, but then came back and lost. He's got a record now, 20 wins, 4 losses, with 10 of his wins coming by knockout. How does a guy from the United States, Sal, fight for a vacant Commonwealth title from the UK? I mean, those are local titles. That's like saying, let's have a New York State title and have a guy from California and a guy from Massachusetts fight for it. I mean, it's an oxymoron. How does a guy that's not even from the UK get to fight for a UK title? And then if he should win, what, he defends a UK title in Florida? I mean, what do you think?
Well, there you go again. I'll tell you, Bill. I don't know. That's an oxymoron right there. I don't know. It's an OxyClean. It's something. I've taken us to the cleaners. No, I could see fighting for the title, but I mean, what are you going to do? Like you said, defend it in Florida? I think that's a strange animal right there.
Well, I just think regional titles belong in the
regional titles belong in the region.
In the region that they are. I mean, if you're going to have a Commonwealth British title, you have Brits fight each other. If you're going to have an African title, you have the Africans fight each other. If you're going to have a USA title, you have United States fighters fighting each other. I mean, that's what regional titles are about.
That's what we always had, and that's it. So I don't even see how this. I don't know. That's a little bizarre, a little weird. Like I said, I'm the Rip Van Winkle of boxing. I fell asleep for 20 years. I woke up and it's a different game.
Sometimes I still gotta wake your ass up. But,
you do. The alarm clock.
But anyway, so tomorrow, make sure you swing by because Sal and I will be talking about the Kell Brook and Errol Spence Jr. fight, along with the Groves and Chodunov fight. But it's time for us to do a trivia question, and I got I'm a little disappointed that we haven't. We had a big bunch of answers for this question, and then all of a sudden it's kind of fizzled out, Sal. So I have a new question here, and I want to.
Whoa. We didn't get the answer to the old question?
No. Well, I have a new question.
It's kind of misleading too, Bill, because my first answer was like 8 inches. Because the way it was read to me, as I first thought, what's the biggest disparity or the biggest difference between height between two fighters that fought for a championship in a non-heavyweight title fight? So I said, 12 inches, 8 inches. It didn't say the actual opponents and fighters. If you read that question over again, I'd point it out. But
let's read the new one.
Okay.
The new question is simply this. It's a who am I question.
Oh, boy.
And it goes like this. Who am I? I grew up so poor that I once had to go to school wearing my sister's dress, as it was the only clothes that I had. I subsequently, I'll read the rest of it, but it's a who am I question. Sal, I'll let you answer this first. Who am I? It was a former world champion, I should have threw that in, that once had to go to school wearing his sister's dress, and ultimately he turned to boxing after that. Who am I?
Jack Dempsey?
Yes, it's Jack Dempsey, Sal. You are correct.
Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. I got it right. I knew it. Those are the odds.
Sal, you're right. You got it right. The answer is Jack Dempsey. Jack Dempsey did, in fact, have to wear his sister's dress going to grade school on multiple occasions, was picked on and everything else. He ended up running away from home at a young age and began working in the mines and fighting, and the rest is history. So congratulations, Sal. You got that one right. You answered the question right for all the listeners. So you're right. You're right. It was Jack Dempsey. So unbelievable.
The actuaries were right. They said if I do that every day, just name Jack Dempsey, eventually I'm going to have to get it right.
I tell you, your boxing. You really do. There's no question about that. So let's ask today's question. And today's question, I guess I'll re-ask the one I had yesterday. And that one, if you're the first one to answer this correctly by emailing me, Billy@talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING.com, you'll win your very own copy of the Title Bout Championship computer game. What is the biggest height difference between two men in the same division fighting for a world title and excluding the heavyweight division? Which is the biggest? Which two fighters? What was the biggest height difference between two men fighting for a world title in the same division, excluding heavyweights? If you're the first one to email me the correct answer, Billy@talkinboxing, that's TALKINBOXING.com, you'll win your very own copy of the Title Bout Championship computer game. Don't forget, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, I'll leave you with this. Ciao, baby.